What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is affecting it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down 1.21%, 448 the low, 455 the high. So not really much activity in either direction. So I think a lot of individuals are kind of shocked because I think they were anticipating like a 10% green day because of NIO day. But as I mentioned in my video yesterday, which a lot of individuals seem to be kind of irate and upset by what I stated, and it's simply Wall Street won't be surprised or impressed by NIO Day. That's just my interpretation. Clearly, the price does dictate that as well. But in essence, the reasoning is NIO, even leading into today, gets manipulated. And Wall Street just has a vendetta against NIO. So anything NIO does going forward in the foreseeable future, it needs to be 100% amazing and on point. If not, Wall Street is just going to completely tear it apart. Even essentially, you did have since NIO Day, Deutsche Bank expecting Firefly to sell only 1,500 units a month, citing unique exterior design, which it's an interesting design. I don't see it being that, I don't know. A lot of people, again, seem to really like it. I always like to play devil's advocate, and I'm not really a big fan of it ultimately. But once again, a lot of people are very diehard fans of NIO, and my video yesterday actually kind of signals that I think NIO is more of like a cult. In my opinion, this is just completely my opinion. As soon as you are unable to hear any negatives about NIO, that goes to show that A, you're just too heavily invested, or you are becoming a bad investor. That's just my viewpoint. Obviously, you guys do whatever the hell you guys want at the end of the day. But aside from that, though, and just the Wall Street trying to digest what is happening with NIO, it's just kind of stuck in limbo. As of today, you aren't seeing any transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money is not buying into this. And if anything, algos are really pushing NIO down because you have on the opposite end shorts returning 3.79 million shares. So shorts are taking advantage of all this over the greater part of a week and just returning a ton, because it went from roughly around, just to give you an overview, about 15.63% on beginning of December, to where it is now. So shorts have returned a ton, but yet NIO stock price has just been going down. So I think there's just a lot of negatives against NIO. And like I said, NIO needs to be 100% on point. You can't have any slips, no cracks. You can't have Wall Street pounce on anything, because just Wall Street already hates NIO as is. There's a lot of geopolitical issues and whatever else, but 13.42% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 179.21 million shares overall are being shorted. So most likely shorts are going to continue to do their thing up until NIO does obtain profitability. So that'll be hopefully sooner rather than later. And then that way the actual stock price will more coincide with what happens operationally. But until that time period, you're just going to have a lot of manipulation and just a lot of hate coming from Wall Street. Aside from that, though, 1.65 million in calls, 565,000 in puts, 54% of all the options being done today so far are bearish in nature. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above that 550 to 6. So I don't know if people were anticipating a quick recovery because maybe they were anticipating pre-market to be low and then it just go up higher. So that's kind of what the bulls are thinking. As far as the bears, they're anticipating for it to be sub 450. So still, based on this information, a little bit more upside is anticipated. But in order for that upside to be obtained, as I've mentioned in the past, you need big money to buy it. Plain as day. Some people have actually argued with me in the comments below. Honestly, stocks just do not go up without big money. You need big institutions to add support, to add liquidity, to move it higher. Without that, you are going to have pretty much a lot of downtrend. And if your stock gets heavily shorted, like it's very easy to manipulate a stock if there is low volume. And so essentially that is what is plaguing NIO. A lot of people, I feel like, cannot grasp that mentality and just see NIO's output and assume that it should be at like $15 just naturally, and we'll get there naturally. It's not like that. And you can even look back over the last like many years with NIO. Like it's been like the writing on the wall for a very long time. So even just over the last 5 years, despite the crazy output and deliveries that they've been doing and improvement, stock price just goes down. So like I said, Wall Street just has a massive vendetta. No new analyst ratings, but I do anticipate, because of the NIO day, there to be some new ones. So that might be coming out possibly later today, if not tomorrow. If it's not in by tomorrow, then most likely it's that's it. But aside from that, on the actual chart itself, it's a little bit positive. Of course, it does need to stay above that ALMA, which right now is $4.43. So it does need to stay above that, and it could potentially see a little bit more of a push higher. So if NIO does get some institutions actually starting to buy it, then it can move up to roughly around that 485. This is a very tight-knit resistance grouping. So you have that 50, 100, and also 200-day moving average, all within a like an 8-cent gap right here. So if NIO does get some good momentum and it's able to push higher, then yeah, this is where you could see a lot of those bullish options come to fruition. But as I said, you need some buying, and shorts returning, that's only going to do so much to the actual stock price. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Was there any, like, are you disappointed by the actual price action so far today, or do you think that was as expected? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing I just wanted to share with you, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. So pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.